Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to put your loom together, so putting your warp strands onto the circle weaving. This is my only plate that I have that is painted and it's not finished yet, but I want you to see kind of this is the middle of what your project's going to look like. It's about halfway done. Notice the back of the plate is painted. So we're going to pretend that my plate that I'm going to show you is painted as well. I have not painted this one. Alright, so I have a plate. First thing I want to do is cut all my notches for it. In order to figure out where to cut your notches, I have these templates around the room. You're literally just going to set the plate on top of it, take a pencil, mark every single notch all the way around, which will give you all the marks, and then you're going to take your scissors and cut every single one. So it makes just a little cut no farther than the rim of the plate. I have already done that on this one all the way around. Now we need to get our yarn for the weft. The weft is this dark string here. This is the line that kind of looks like spokes of a bicycle, so coming out from the center. I recommend choosing a thinner yarn for this, not something super thick, because you got to be able to work around this really easily. So we need a piece of yarn that is 2 arm spans long. So an arm span is if I stretch my arms out as far as I can, that is 1 arm span. I'll grab it and do a second one. Once I got it, I will sit and cut. All right, now let's weave. So I got my piece. What I want to do is attach it in first. So I'm going to take my end, maybe just 1 inch or 2, and I'm going to go through one of the notches. Does not matter which one yet. On the back side, I want to tape this piece of string down. I want to make sure it stays out of our way, but stays secure. So I just tape it down. Yep. Now I come to the front. So as we weave, we got to pay attention to which notch we're in. So we have 19 notches total. So that's an odd number. We're going to go down a little bit more than halfway. So we want to count down from where we notched our yarn 10 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 10th notch, put it in. Okay, so I just notched it into place. Now I'm going to take this string, I'm going to loop it around and come up 1 to the right, the 9th one of where I just was. So as you see, it just loops around behind it. Just go in, come out to the notch to the right. Now I want to go up and to the left, so it makes a very thin X all the way across. Up and to the left, our very first one, notch into place. Now we want our strings to be tight, but we don't want it to be so tight that the plate starts to bend. So make sure that it's tight, but the plate stays flat. Okay, so I've notched in here. Now I want to go 1 to the left of this one. So it goes 1 over, cross through the center, 1 to the right. Come up next to it, cross, and 1 over. And you just do this all the way around. Oops. Make sure they're notched all the way in there. Just going 1 over every single time. Now you notice this very last one, there's nowhere for it to go to. That's perfect. Ideally, I should have had a longer piece of yarn. I think I cut mine a little short on accident. I'm going to tie another piece to this just to make it easier. If you ever notice that your yarn is short or you want to change colors or add colors, just take another piece and I'm going to tie it together. So I'm going to loop it around my fingers, tuck it through the center, and pull tight. There we go. I'm going to trim off my extra next to the knot. There we go. You should have plenty of space. I think I cut mine too short. Okay, so we've come through our last spot. There's nowhere to go. This string now gets turned into our weft. Weft is the string that is starting to weave around, going over, under, over, under. Okay, so I'm going to take my end. So I like to go to the left or going up and to the left. It is your call with this, which direction you want to go, as long as you always go the same way. So I'm going to start, I'll go over, and then I'll go under, and then I'll go over, under. So I'm going to go over the first one, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. I get about halfway around, and I'm going to pull my excess. So So I'm just kind of holding it in place just so it doesn't go all crazy. Making sure this comes there. There we go, it's kind of pulling into the center. Okay, so I ended here with under. Oops, where's my end? Where's my end? There it is. Last thing was under this one, so I want to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And back to the beginning. Now, these first couple rounds are going to look horrible. That's okay. They are supposed to look horrible. I'll show you what I mean. So as I pull my excess through, oops, got a little knot there. There we go. There we go. It's going to start to catch all the pieces together. So at this point, I can kind of move the center. I want to make this little center point of my kind of bicycle spokes in the center of the plate best I can. But you notice it did not catch every single one. So I need to do this a few more times before it starts to look good. Let's see. Oh no, where did I end? I ended under this one. So I want to go over, under, over, under, over, under. So the first 2 or 3 times around, the weaving is not going to look right. Just know if it doesn't look right, you're right on track. There we go, just pulling that excess through. Kind of pulling it tight to kind of get it together. So I ended right here with under. So I went over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Pull through my excess. So again, I'm pulling through. I know it ended right here with under. I want to keep that in mind. There we go. Now it's starting to work. So I'm pulling tight to create a nice little center point here. So the more times you wrap around, the neater and cleaner this is going to be. Let me do one more and it'll really start to go. So I want to go over this one, under, over, under, over, under, over. As I said, the first couple rounds are going to look gross. This is the hardest part of the entire thing because you feel like you're doing something wrong, but you're not. Go, pulling that extra, ended here with under, so over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, pull excess. There we go. Now we're starting to look good. It's actually starting to weave it. So give it some time. It takes at least 3 times around before it starts to work. And you could change colors whenever you want. You could keep going with the same color. It is your call. Let me show you a little further out. So if I switch to this one, you see how I changed colors a couple times. So this center point was my original weaving from the extra of this. Then I changed to a white and pink. Then I changed to this a really thick one. I'm not a big fan of this really thick one, so I want to change it right now. So even though I have a bunch left, I can trim it short. I'm gonna give myself a little space, that way I can tie a knot. I think I'm going to go, maybe I'll just go with white. So I have a piece of white. Ooh, that's way too short. I got a longer piece. Yeah, it's all knotted up. I don't know. Hate it when the yarn gets knotted. Ugh. Let me get a new piece. It's easier. I always recommend starting with about 2 arm lengths, give or take. Could always do longer, shorter, your call. I recommend not going much longer than that though, because then it's just too much yarn to have to deal with. Okay, so I take my end, I want to tie them together. So 2 ends like this. So again, I'm going to show you. I take 2 fingers, I'm going to come down quite a bit. Oops, get out of there. I'm going to wrap the 2 ends around it. Now I'm going to spread my fingers apart. And I'm going to tuck these 2 ends up through that center. See how it's tucked up through there? Slide it off my fingers and pull tight. There we go. And I just trim off the excess. And I just start weaving again. And the knot will get hidden behind it. So let's see, I ended with under, so over, under, over, under, over, under. I'll show you how the knot gets hidden. Let me just get a few around. It's hard changing from thick to thin, but I really didn't like this thick one. There we go, pulling it tight, a couple more. Under, over, under, over. There we go. So you see how I just made sure that knot, I wouldn't want it sticking up like that. I would just tuck it to the back so it doesn't get seen, and I just keep going. You continue this all the way out as far as you can. And when you're all done, you just tie your end piece to one of the warp strands, or you can even just tuck it through and you'll be done. Good luck weaving, guys. Have fun.